Welcome to the LANCave, where we're living as nerds. I'm solo this week due to some technical difficulties, so apologies for my my rambling or not rambling or just complete dead air when I forget what the heck I'm doing. But I'm Patrick. We're talking gaming news. I'm talking gaming news, nerd news, all kinds of stuff. On Joker Eve, as it were. Joker comes out technically Friday. I don't know, it's one of those things like the movie starts Friday, but you can see it at 7 on Thursday, which I don't mind. But anyways, it's basically Joker Eve. I'm really hoping to see it tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to happen yet, but I'd really like to. So anyways, let me know in the comments if you are looking forward to seeing that, and if you're as confused as other people about where this fits into the Joker and Batman, all that stuff, and I'll explain it if you guys want me to, because comment section's open. Go for it. And yeah, anyways, I've been playing Jedi Knight, as if I didn't need something nerdier to play. Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast on Switch, and I love it. It surprised me how difficult this game is in the early instances. Once you get your powers and everything, it's amazing, but the first, I just completed the first level and was playing it on normal, and it is a lot more difficult than I remember. I think games were more difficult then, so it's aged in regards to some of the design. There were a couple of frustrating issues where I was trying to essentially get through everything and get through the first level, navigate through all that, and it wasn't as good as I'd hoped. But I don't know, I'm liking it. It just surprised me how much more difficult it was before you get your lightsaber. Once you get your lightsaber, it's awesome though. So anyways, we'll skip over to some gaming news. I keep talking about Star Wars, but Lowen's not here, so I don't want to waste my Star Wars. So Brain Age is coming back to Switch, which was pretty popular, I think, on DS. I didn't play it, but I knew a lot of people that did like it, so I think it's cool. This is coming to Switch because it's a cool learning. It's a learning tool. It also, it's just interesting games and stuff like that, and being able to open this up for the family is cool. And of course, because they have that, let's see, they also have a stylus coming out, because it just makes sense for that. If you're going to do this, if you're going to put Brain Age on the Switch, it really just makes sense to do that. Up next in PlayStation news, we had a little bit of PlayStation news, a lot of PlayStation news this week. Shawn Layden has left, or is leaving, PlayStation, and it's funny how many people are saying crazy negative or crazy positive things, and they're just completely fanboying about whatever is going on. But it's just weird to me hearing all these people say that that he's leaving because PlayStation's not doing well. Because I've seen people comment on that, saying that PlayStation wasn't doing well, so that's why Shawn's leaving, because he basically realized that they're not going to do as well in the next console generation. I'm like, that's stupid. PlayStation 4 sold more than it sold more than PS3, of course. Sold more than Xbox One. We have figured. Xbox will not come out with the stats on it, but I'm pretty solid that it's sold at least double compared to Xbox this console generation. And yeah, it's like, I'm maybe a PlayStation fanboy a little bit. I have all the consoles. I love all the consoles for different reasons, but PlayStation knocked it out of the park with PlayStation 4, continued giving really good content, and kept buying up really good developers and becoming the place to play first party titles. So he was head for, I want to say it's 5 years. Owen can double check me, or someone can double check me in the chat. I believe it was 5 years, but he's been with Sony forever. He was just the head of the division for 5 years, which that's a good amount of time. It's a good amount of time for him to be doing that, and I think he's on to bigger and better things, or maybe he just wants to retire. I mean, when you're in that kind of position and you're CEO, and if you play your cards right and you manage your money right, he could just walk off and retire and maybe do some consulting work, which obviously would be lucrative, but also he could do it on his own time. So his own time, his own schedule, do what he wants. So I think it's cool. I think I'm happy for him. It's going to be curious to see where they're going moving forward from here. But yeah. Speaking of PlayStation, we got a patent, not leak, but patent's been found of essentially an app, a PlayStation app that you can hit in being able to access certain aspects. Like if you're playing, say, Horizon Zero Dawn, you'll be able to click and actually start to, figure out, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. You'll be able to actually dig in and ask for help or ask for guidance when playing games, which is pretty cool. I think it's cool to have all of this in one ecosystem, and I hope that this is, I hope PlayStation does well with that. Nintendo is horrible at it, but in regards to keeping players connected and plugged into the PlayStation ecosystem, it can be really good. I don't know how it'll work. I don't know if it'll work, but either way, I'm hopeful. I had my notes in front of me and they went away. So speaking of that, by the way, PlayStation, more PlayStation news. PlayStation Now has cut its price. This is ahead of Google Stadia. $60 for a year of streaming PlayStation. That's pretty good. $60 to play all their titles streaming. I mean, it makes sense. That's for, where is it? It's $10 a month, or you can do a $60 a year subscription. That's a decent price for a subscription. To being able to access all these games. So instead of having to buy the games, to throw in the subscription and play whatever you want is pretty awesome to me. So happy about that. It was 5 years, but he's been with Sony forever. He was. Sorry about that. I'm going to edit that out. More Sony, more PlayStation news. We got PS4 crossplay has left beta, so this is the full feature for developers to explore and actually be able to crossplay from PlayStation 4 to other environments. There's no official announcement about a crossplay, features or how they're going to roll it out. But it's pretty awesome to see that. I mean, there's a lot of people who are wanting everything to cross Xbox and PlayStation. When you bring in mouse and keyboard, obviously, it's at that point it changes the game in regards to the actual skill level and what you're playing. But I'd say for console gaming, it should just be a no-brainer, and I think we're actually going to get there. Or now it should be a no-brainer. 10 years ago, was nowhere near on the radar, but now it should be a no-brainer. Crossplay is going to help in comparison in all aspects of this. Sony's not going to lose the race. Sony's not going to lose against Xbox. This is only going to help them in regards to people grabbing games on their platform. Because if you're playing a bunch of PlayStation games and a game comes out and your friends are playing on Xbox, well, you'll just keep playing on PlayStation. It doesn't matter if this rolls out the way that we want it to. Speaking of Xbox, we got some Xbox news, actually, or an alleged leak about the Xbox Scarlett camera. Stats on that, allegedly, again. Microsoft's camera is allegedly capable of 4K resolution with just a 2-frame latency between what is recorded and what appears on a stream. That's amazing. Current Microsoft Kinect gets about 8 to 10 milliseconds of latency. Tipster claims Microsoft is showing off the capabilities of the camera using a Snapchat-like demo that changes in-game lighting. Really cool stuff. Again, hopeful on Xbox. I don't want to see Xbox being left in the dust. I don't want to see anyone being left in the dust. Competition is amazing. It breeds diversity, breeds innovation, and I love it. So I want to see Xbox succeed. I want them to succeed in their own way. That's my wish for Xbox in the next generation. I want them to find their way. PlayStation is going to come out. They're going to be the winner early on. No, I mean, that's my prediction. Early PlayStation sales compared to Xbox sales, depending on how you have to look at it, making the numbers match up and what have you. I think PlayStation's gonna have it though. Xbox, we'll see what happens. They're gonna have to play the long game to get into it. In completely unrelated news, and I'm not gonna completely steal this guy's thunder. There were some recent things coming out about NBA, the new NBA 2K game, and the loot box aspect to it, the gambling aspect to it. It'll actually show right in this trailer some of the not only starting packs, but also randomness and random chance of giveaways of something you could get, evolving your players depending on packs that you've opened and everything. Now, the reason that this has come to get a little bit heated is this is rated E. We've been talking a lot about gambling, about loot boxes and all that, and it was rated E. Now, the ESRB said that, yes, it was rated E because this is not, this isn't gambling, because it's not teaching you to gamble. It's just random fun chance things. Like, well, no. You're teaching right there with a slot machine. You may have random chance, but you are showing essentially gambling. You're teaching kids gambling, and this, okay, they were like, this is just like Wheel of Fortune. Okay, but you are creating this stimulant. You are, from a psychological perspective, you are teaching, you're teaching the basics, you're teaching the ideas and the reward systems for the neural links of gambling and addictive personalities. And that is the last thing that we need right now in the day of social media and all this other crap, is to teach kids this. I won't go on a tangent too much, but Angry Joe did a video about this. Again, I'll shout out to him, whatever the heck you want to call it, but he did a video and basically said that they were digging into it. One of the guys that works with him on the show, and the ESRB doesn't actually play any of the games. And I didn't realize the full extent of this until the ESRB actually talked about it. So the way that it works is that the developers come to them with a demo reel, as it were, of I think it's less than 2 hours, and you have to show them all the stuff in your game that's the bad stuff. It's an honor system of bringing in whatever it is, and they said, well, there's really not really that bad of language, so they'll gauge, is it based on what you're being shown. Like I said, it's an honor system. What you're being shown by the developer, what would you rate it? They can put in whatever else. And the reason that this came to light is because people were digging about it, because they brought up the trailer and they said, well, we didn't rate it based on the trailer. That's when people started digging to figure out, well, what did they rate it based on? If this stuff was never shown to them, what was shown to them? Well, they got to see people playing basketball, they got to see some roster stuff and some not too terrible language, but that was the worst infraction of it. And that to me is crazy, because the developer just brings, publisher, probably more act at that point, just brings to them a demo reel and says, okay, rate it based on that. It could have any number of other things that are hidden in there. You could have twists that were hidden in there because you don't want to show the person, but maybe there's a twist, and maybe it gets there's more violence in that, or more derogatory, whatever it is. It shouldn't be based on that. They should be actually playing the games. And there was a further, I had it in front of me. There was a further bit of that where they were essentially saying there was a bill that, I can't find it now. I had it in my notes. Sorry, there was a bill that was put forward a while back, or whatever, to basically say, well, you're going to have to play the game, play X amount of the game, and not do a demo reel. And they said that would be too much for them to do, and it just died. And interestingly enough, there's also a connection, which I can't find my full notes on it, but the same people who are rating the games are all there's a connection between that, and again, I can't find my freaking notes, but essentially there's also a connection between the ESRB and the Federal Trade Commission. Is it Federal Trade Commission? Whoever regulates, it's not gambling. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling because I thought I had my notes so I could actually knock this out. But either way, we'll just talk about, say the ESRB is bad at what they do, and it makes it even worse that they're not rating it. Like if you watch a movie, you're seeing a rating of someone who watched the movie and what they believe it should be rated based on the content. And here you're given the content, only you're rating based on the content that you're given, which is just stupid. So anyways, let me know in the comments if you think that's dumb, and let me know if you're looking forward to some Star Wars, as Owen and I are probably going to be knocking through the Star Wars movies soon. Let me know in the comments what you think about that, and we'll see you next time.